Hey guys, and welcome back to the Bayonetta playthrough. Well, we managed to deal with the cardinal virtue of prudence, but time waits for no man / witch, so let's head to the Isla del Sol. But first, the gates of hell. Come on, Richie, I had a thing going there and everything.
I know, but then you mispronounced the name of the location because it's Isla del Sol, so...
Whatever. If Latin was correct, it wouldn't be a dead language.
It is true. Latin is pretty much dead, but then still loads of people like to use it. And I was going in here just going, right, what can I buy? And it was just like, right, don't want any of those moves because none of them are useful to me now.
Right.
I could get some of the Umbran treasure, like Rodan's treasures, because like Umbran elegances, because what they do is they can change your outfit depending on what weapon you have equipped.
Right.
But then I was just like, actually, you know what's probably going to be more helpful to me in the long run? Getting like the Durga alt, because I know what I'm going to come up against in not this chapter, but the chapter afterwards, and I probably just want to have that for safekeeping.
Okay. Why were you saying I was going to hate you at this part, though?
You're going to see. We're not there yet.
Fair enough, mate, fair enough. Okay, chapter 14, go now.
This is quite an infamous cutscene, shall we say.
I think this was one of those, like, the most iconic cutscenes I saw before ever playing the game. I was like, what? Okay, so it's one of those games that doesn't really take itself seriously.
Yes, and I mean, some people probably think that Bayonetta takes its story too seriously. But then you have moments like this where it's quite clear that they take the story seriously enough to get it to land, but they're quite willing to enjoy some moments of hilarity and insanity. But yes, the hard it is to not notice the reality of things, namely breasts.
Fuck's sake, Luca, time and a place, mate.
I know, and Teresa's just like, what are you looking at? There's kind of something up front there. And yeah, Luca's just like, really? And...
Oh, that's fucking fantastic.
I love the humour of this game, it's brilliant.
Amazing. Alright, Richie, take it away, mate.
Yes, so as Bayonetta says, welcome to my fantasy zone, get ready. We are flung into missile operation, which is basically Space Harrier, and this is essentially the first 2 levels of Space Harrier perfectly replicated in Bayonetta with the added addition of Witch Time, and it is so much fun.
It's a little bit fun. The inverted controls kind of got to me at first.
Yeah, those can be a bit annoying, although I think you can switch them up. I think I did, actually, because they really can throw you off. But the thing that most people get frustrated about with this particular set piece is, one, it goes on a little bit too long.
Yeah,
it does,
yeah.
but it's still fun, and I just love this music. But also, a lot of people get major motion sickness throughout this particular 2 verses, because what happens when you dodge is the entire screen rotates with you, which is a really cool effect, but it is one that I think throws a lot of people off. It's why I think a lot of people ended up just not liking this as much as they probably would have done otherwise, and just going, well, couldn't you have just, you know, done the Star Fox method of, if I'm dodging, don't rotate the entire bloody screen. But then I'm kind of just like, well, it looks cool, and you end up in situations where if you start, you kind of have to keep going, otherwise you are going to get hit, and I didn't want to get hit because I wanted to absolutely ace this section because I'm really going to need it.
Yes, you will.
Because as you notice, I'm not the best fighter against the person that we are undoubtedly going to face at this moment. I was about to say the character's name.
Richie, like, who else could, like, have a name beginning with Je? Come on.
Rodan? Genzo?
Fuck off. Fuck off.
So yeah, I'm not the best fighter against Jeanne. It's obviously Jeanne. And so I desperately need better rankings here to be able to counteract whatever is going to happen in that fight. And also it just is really awesome to do well on these, because you actually get an achievement / Umbran Tears of Blood if you manage to get platinums on both of these verses.
Ooh, very nice.
Which I feel like it's called Afterburner, which is obviously another Sega property, which is where you're sort of flying in a dogfighter type situation.
Yeah, there was a stage in All Stars Racing Transform based on it.
Yeah. Now, there are actually 2 Broken Witch Hearts that you can get in this particular chapter, and you get them by torture attacking the big... Are they applauds? I think they're applauds. And it's always safer to do it right at the end, so if they're the last enemy and you torture attack them, then you'll definitely get the Broken Witch Heart. If you don't, then I don't think it will trigger properly.
I thought that was a bit odd, because I remember I actually got one, and then I think I died and had to do the stage over again. So...
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the slightly cruel things about Bayonetta, amongst many other things, is that if you die, anything you picked up will not have counted and you'll have to collect it again. In some instances, that can be quite helpful, but in other instances, really not so much.
Mm-hmm. Now, you can lock on, and you can fire missiles, but I think you need moon pearls for that, don't you?
You do, and really what you want to be doing is, for the most part, you want to be saving them for situations like this, where you're fighting a courage, and then you also want to be trying to save them for when you go into Witch Time, because at that point you are going to obviously get better combo points.
Jesus.
And that's going to help. And yeah, this is why a lot of people get really motion sick during these fights.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Ooh, very nice platinum, mate. Is it me, or are we getting no closer to the Isla del Sol?
It's definitely taking us a bloody while. We are getting closer, it's just that it really is taking an age to do so.
I'd love if it was just like, it's just a massive, like, cardboard sign. That's why it doesn't seem to be getting any closer.
Well, I mean, really, I'm pretty sure that the Isla del Sol that we see during this particular chapter is just a 2D image.
Yeah.
Because it's the type of thing that would definitely be a 2D image in this type of game, and I'm gonna double check that in my sights as soon as it becomes a little bit clearer in vision.
Oh jeez. I don't get motion sickness, but even I'm having a whale of a time here.
Yes, it is interesting, and I was slightly concerned on that moment because I was just like, oh god, this applaud is a little bit too close for comfort, and I don't want to accidentally murder him before I get my Broken Witch Heart, because otherwise I have to play through the entire bloody thing again.
Oh, well, you'll just have a fun time barfing in midair, my friend.
But it's fine, because I got them both, so that's immediately... We're doing okay. And, yeah, I'm pretty sure that is a 2D image. Probably there's a few layers to the 2D image. Because you've got the lights that keep moving. So you probably have a few, like one layer behind which there's 2 sets of light, another layer behind which there's the others, to give you that illusion of the light being far away. But as you can see, we're actually getting a bit closer.
They're just zooming it towards you, pushing the board forward.
But yeah, this is going to go on for a little bit longer, because we've got sort of 2 boss phases effectively to live through. So we've got this one, which is alright. You've got 3 sets of inspireds to deal with. Really, they're not too bad. I'm spamming away my Wicked Weave missiles, which really I probably shouldn't be doing. I should be saving them up. But then also I want to kill these guys as quickly as possible, because otherwise this verse is going to take bloody forever.
Yeah, for sure. You're just being courteous to our viewers, really.
Yeah, and also they're the type of enemies that are really easy to go into witch time on because you've got more than enough time to respond to the fireballs that they shoot. And also there's a surprisingly long amount of time that you've got in which to shoot at them regularly. So it's just like, I'll get in those hits while I can, thank you very much.
I think this is where the little angel head guys are at their most deadly, ironically.
Definitely, because at the moment where they can hit you, and yeah, I ended up in a proper loop there, and then you've got kinships as well, and I'm just like, just die already.
Oh, that's what those things were. I couldn't tell in the ensuing motion blur and chaos.
Well, you see, that's just what happens. But yeah, it's probably at this point where you're just going, yeah, can this bit end?
Yeah, just a minute less, I think, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that is commonly a criticism for Hideki Kamiya games, and I would, for the most part, agree with that criticism. Sometimes he adds in these different gameplay styles, and they're fun. They are a lot of fun, but oftentimes they last just that little bit too long, and you reach a point where you go, this started off being fun and now I'm a little bit sick of it.
Yeah, he doesn't really have that, like, Kojima playfulness of, like, playing with the genre or anything. They're not overly long to say, or, like, tell a message about the genre. They're just overly long because that's what he likes.
Pretty much, and, I mean, that is totally fair. I mean, I think another reason that Hideki Kamiya's games, and Platinum's games, for the most part anyway, tend to be as successful as they are as games is because they make the games that they want to play.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you end up with an experience that, yeah, this gets pretty chaotic in terms of the dodging. So I do apologise, because you're going to be seeing a lot of it. I mean, you've seen a lot of it already, but you're going to be seeing even more throughout this.
I'll try and put a warning as, like, the pinned comment or whatever.
Yeah, just go, warning! Potential motion sickness awaits.
Incoming recorder, dick.
I mean, it is possible to get through the entirety of this without really using the dodge, but I am not good enough at this sort of gameplay style to be able to pull that off. So I really do have to rely on my delightful dodge button.
What do you like, Rich? What do you like?
Hey, it gets me through, and I am killing this, so really, does it matter?
Well, yes, when all our viewers are throwing up and they unsubscribe and unpledge from our Patreon, yes it is.
Oh, I'm sure they will be absolutely fine. After all, they can, just put it on like 2 times speed and Heroes in Chipmunk form. And
don't put it faster, are you crazy? Good, it's down. That wasn't Temperangia, by the way.
No, that was Temperance. And fire the afterburners!
Nice!
Get in there! And that pretty much means that I can quite safely get a gold, and I will be fine. I think a silver might be being a little bit risky, but I'm going to try and avoid that one.
Well, I'll judge you all the same, my friend.
Of course you will.
Well, that's just how I roll. Oh, look at this place. Beautiful. Don't travel by missile, kids. It's a very expensive vehicle habit to have. Jesus, Jeanne, can you just give it a rest? We just went through like a 10-minute minigame.
Yeah, no, she definitely can't, and this is part of the reason why this fight does end up being more challenging than it probably would be otherwise, because your hand's probably quite tired after that entire mini-game, so you're kind of just like, oh god, I need a break. No, I can't have a break, I've got a bloody boss fight to deal with.
No, there is no time to rest right now, you must play Bayonetta.
John, if you've made it this far, that should be enough. You're back to your old self.
If not, here's a cutscene for you that explains everything in chronological order.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully she is here to give us a bit more of that information, because we really do need it at this point. Bayonetta really needs to restore some of those memories.
Be it witch or sage. The Lumen Sages. They were our counterbalance as overseers.
And also there's kind of one of my favourite lines in the game in this cutscene, and it's awesome.
Oh yeah, well, you're going to point it out so little dumbass 64 will notice.
Of course, I mean, it's pretty much one of the more iconic lines throughout the game. I mean, it is stated like 3 times.
Okay,
so
right.
it is drilled in somewhat, and here we have the sort of final revelation that Bayonetta was the child born in violation of the tenets of faith. She was the disaster that caused the clans to spiral.
Don't just read what's on screen, you hack!
Well, sometimes it helps because it's the perfect descriptor for what's going on.
I guess so.
The half-breed of light and dark.
I could just be watching a Kingdom Hearts game right now, I'm gonna be honest.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because I'm currently playing a Kingdom Hearts game on my channel.
Ah, birth by sleep.
Indeed, and I'm finally getting to experience the final mix version. Get in, and this is the line.
When the eyes of the world are within our grasp, the power of creation shall be awakened.
That is why the left eye, our treasured left eye, will never fall into the hands of another.
Alright, that line. Yeah, that's said in a few contexts, actually.
Definitely. And I mean, I love that even within a single cutscene, it's used in 2 different contexts, with 2 different
Bayonetta. It is time
inflections that give it a really different air, and I love it.
You did it. It is our charge as witches to protect the treasures of the clan.
Just the build-up to this fight is just
Even if it means
beautiful.
burning every inch of this island to a crisp.
Whee!
And here to just completely cut through the tension.
How the fuck did you get up here?
I don't know, but Bayonetta's the type of game where this is perfectly okay.
I guess so.
What the hell you girls got going on here? But you don't mind if I take this off your hands, do you?
Shoots him in the head, dead.
I mean, she probably could do that, but I have the feeling that she's maybe got slightly grander plans than just shooting them. I have the horrible inkling that it's going to happen.
Oh no. You ain't going nowhere.
And just that smirk.
Oh my god. He's a really bad driver.
Bayonetta.
Cheshire and Cereza
The essence.
and Cheshire
Can
are dead.
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, that's just gorgeous, and oh, I love this fight so much.
It's
You've
pretty
got
great.
A really grand song here, which is called Blood and Darkness, which is effectively sort of a ramping up from Red and Black, which I love. And you just got so many different phases to this fight. It's like the full-on best possible final battle for Jeanne that you could have hoped for.
Yeah, very much so, mate. But be careful about flailing about at this point. If you haven't, like, grasped the nuances of Bayonetta's combat, you will be taking more hits than necessary here.
Yes, and even when you have grasped the nuances of Bayonetta's combat, you'll be taking hits. Unless, you know, you've managed to completely master and just are going for that pure platinum goodness. Unfortunately, I am not there yet. Don't think I ever will be, but really, I'm just here to have fun, so...
For sure, for sure. Did I notice that Jeanne was using Saraba back there, or a lookalike?
Yes! So, I believe she does gain the use of Sharaba in Chapter 12. She gains a few weapons as you go along.
Okay.
I can't remember whether it's Sharaba that she gets in this one or whether it's another weapon, but it doesn't matter because that building's collapsed. Now we're in another one. Jeanne's on fire and is now completely naked with a glowing vagina, and just it's glorious.
Now you see me as I truly am, a witch of the Umbra.
Indeed. And this just makes it even more awesome because now you've fully got that black and white comparison, and it's stunning. And also this particular moment is really cool because Jeanne throws bloody missiles at you.
I will say these are a little bit hard to time the counter. I was getting a bit frustrated.
Now you see, I've never had a problem hitting the counter on these. It's pretty much as soon as I see the button appear, I'm just like, smash it, and it does it. So, I'm pretty much okay with them. So I'm just like, I just love this so much.
Well, don't worry, there's another more infuriating QuickTime event coming up that I'm sure a lot more people take issue with.
I'm not sure I know which one you're talking about, but...
You'll know it when you see it, mate, because you can die from it.
Now you see, I don't actually ever remember dying to a QuickTime event in this. Is it this one, perhaps?
There's multiple of these, yes, where you have to press up and B.
Now you see, I never had a problem with any of those, and I think it's because the game does give you more than enough time to make that jump. It's not like the instances that you see in chapters 2 and 3, where it does just give you a split second to hit it and doesn't signal that it's coming in any way. But either way, I do just love this fight because it's like we're fighting on a bloody missile that's flying through a city, and this song is just so epic, and just everything about this fight is amazing. And we go from one missile to another missile, and just I don't even know what's going on, and I'm loving it.
Oh, I just wanted to let Richie have a little moment of appreciation, yeah. But yeah, this is Bayonetta distilled down to its finest, I guess. Look, I'm not a winery kind of guy. I just know how to describe things using very base terms. This is Bayonetta in a nutshell. Much better.
Basically, yes, and it's just glorious, and I do love these counters. They're amazing. I'm annoyed that I didn't actually manage to get more of them into my fights against Jeanne, because they're always like the most epic moments, and they're always pretty safe in terms of getting damage in on her. And I'm quite happy that I actually got both of them in relatively quick succession, so I'm just like, get in there.
To be fair, you did the Jeanne fight in a couple of parts ago, like basically without any of those, so you've more than made up for it here.
Exactly, it all worked out. Now, this particular bit can be a challenge, because you've got this sort of L-shaped structure that you can climb up and over, and Jeanne will be moving all around it as well, and it's very easy for her to get out of the way of you.
Yeah.
So you've just got to be a bit careful in terms of your manoeuvring.
Loving your gun work in this particular fight, mate. Jesus, the cars.
It's going surprisingly well. I mean, I know I've lost a lot of health, but I always lose health against Jeanne, so I'm making use of the weapons that I have, because Onyx Roses, as you can see, do stun enemies quite well, so I'll take that, and it was just like, get in there. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. What QuickTime event were you referring to?
It was just the rocket. Just the rocket.
Never had a problem with the rockets, but oh well.
I suck shit against Jeanne in that fight, so I'm a little bit jealous.
Well, you see, Tom, this is where you go back and play through Bayonetta again and realise, oh, I've actually gotten a lot better.
Well, I tried it on hard. I can't get past the fucking prologue.
Now, you see, that was your problem. You went immediately to hard. You need to play through normal again.
I guess so, yeah.
Hard's a challenge for even someone like me in the original Bayonetta. That sounded really big-headed, but you get the gist. I've played a lot of Bayonetta at this point, so I'm much more acclimatised to how it works. So when I first tried out hard mode, I got my ass handed to me, and I think I did manage to make it through the prologue, but oh my god, I suffered so much. Nowadays I think I probably could just about manage it, although my hands would be dead by the end of it, but it's still really difficult.
We fought for this stone.
I love that we go from ultra high epic battle to another really intimate character moment.
Yeah, just subdued, yeah.
Yeah, as Jeanne's effectively reminiscing and memories are returning to Bayonetta.
This shiny ruby is triggering me. Ah, no, you didn't properly stab me at all. You stabbed the jewel, I guess?
Well, what she effectively did is, rather than, you know, killing Bayonetta and burying her in a coffin at the bottom of a lake, she rescued Bayonetta back then. She sealed her away, effectively, inside the gem 500 years ago, so that a traitorous Lumen Sage couldn't get his way.
Stand, Teresa.
Yes, Bayonetta's real name
Of our childhood.
is indeed Teresa.
What does it mean, Richie? What does it mean?
Well, I'm sure we will find out in about 2 parts' time, specifically.
And my eyes were clouded with fear. We were. Do not fear your fate.
You'll get a second game, but Sega won't publish it.
Stand.
But then Nintendo will come and save the day, and everyone will love them for it.
Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah, loads of people hated them for it, but the people who love Bayonetta love Nintendo for it. I can vouch for that because I was one of those people.
Jesus Christ, that was abrupt.
Yes, and that's the end of Jeanne.
In hindsight, going out by a volley of missiles is pretty metal.
It really is, but who might this debonair man be?
Is it over?
It's Luca. Are you insane?
It's not like you don't scare the shit
I was hoping there'd be a little bit more time before, he moved up and spoke. But yes, Luca and Teresa survived!
Of course they did. You didn't see a body, ergo they're not dead.
This is very true. And I do love the cutscene to show how they survived. It's another of those silly, beautiful moments.
Let's have a look then. I know it's coming. Ridiculous. He's like fucking Spider-Man. Oh, yes! I love it!
The thing I love even more is that when it shows Chester, there's just a
Would have been just enough to have Cereza do like the little starlight wink, but no, they had to go one step further. Oh, I love the hero of this game. Jesus.
It's so good. And I also love this as well because it's just really good character work. Because it shows Bayonetta and Luca actually having a gentle, sweet banter with each other rather than the more barbed comments that they've been hitting each other with throughout the rest of the game.
They're kind of like Cereza's parents in a way, really.
Effectively, and also there's sort of a pseudo-romantic relationship going on here that you get sort of sexual undertones, but it's maybe not quite as strong as it could be otherwise. But also I love the fact that in this cutscene Bayonetta says Luca for the first time in the game. She doesn't call him Cheshire, and it's sort of like that moment where she finally starts to respect him almost and appreciate him. Yeah, so she finally starts calling him by his actual name, and it's just really sweet.
But yeah, that's a pretty strong chapter, which is kind of a shame that the next one I don't feel was nearly as strong. A bit clunky, actually.
Yeah, but then it's sort of your final difficult boss rush-esque level, so those sorts of things are always a little bit risky, but that is for another day and I believe another week.
Are you sure? Are we done recording Bayonetta now?
I thought we were, but that's up to you.
We're ending on a bang then, I suppose, folks. Thank you so much for watching Bayonetta this week. I guess I'll have to rustle up some more content now, but trust me, with Patreon, there's lots to go around. See you next week for more Bayonetta. Bye-bye.